Hi, welcome to Story Time at the Massanutten Regional Library. I'm Ms. Mary Jo, and I've got some more tales or stories for you for our summer reading program, the Tales and Tales. Tales as in the animal tales and T-A-L-E-S, tales, the stories. So today, you may already have guessed from what you see up here. Do you know the story about the three bears, Goldilocks and the three bears? That's the story we're going to do today. So, we've got here our Papa Bear, our Mama Bear, and our Baby Bear. And I'm going to be reading the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears out of this book, which is called Yummy, 8 Favorite Fairy Tales by Lucy Cousins. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears, Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. They lived in a cottage in the woods. Every morning they made porridge for breakfast. A big bowl for Papa Bear, a medium-sized bowl for Mama Bear, and a little bowl for Baby Bear. One morning the porridge was very hot. "Whew, let's go for a walk while it cools down," Mama Bear said. And off they went. So they decided to go for a walk and have breakfast a little later. And you know what happened while they were gone? While the 3 bears were out, a little girl named Goldilocks. You know why she was named Goldilocks? Because her hair is gold, and sometimes people use that word locks for her hair. So Goldilocks came to the cottage and she went straight inside. "Oh, look, lovely porridge," she said. She was very hungry. First she tried the porridge in the big bowl. "Too hot," she said. Then she tried the porridge in the medium-sized bowl. "Ew, too salty," she said. Then she tried the porridge in the little bowl. "Just right," she said, and she ate it all up. That was good. Now, I'm going to have to set her down for a little bit. "Now I will try one of these chairs," said Goldilocks. First she tried the big chair. "Too hard," she said. Then she tried the medium-sized chair. "Too soft," she said. Then she tried the little chair. "Just right," she said. But when she sat on it, crash! It broke into pieces. Oh dear. Goldilocks was tired and wanted to lie down, so she went upstairs. First she tried the big bed. "Too high," she said. Next she tried the medium-sized bed. "Too lumpy," she said. Then she tried the little bed. "Just right," she said. And soon she fell asleep. Okay, let's put her in her bed where she's sleeping. Well, before long, the 3 bears came home. There's Papa Bear. I bet they were hungry for their breakfast. Mama Bear and little Baby Bear. Papa Bear went to take a bite of his porridge. "Someone has been eating my porridge," said Papa Bear. "Someone has been eating my porridge," said Mama Bear. Baby Bear looked at his bowl. He said, "Someone has been eating my porridge and they've eaten it all up." I bet he wasn't very happy. Well, then the 3 bears looked at their chairs. "Someone has been sitting in my chair," said Papa Bear. "Someone has been sitting in my chair," said Mama Bear. "And someone's been sitting in my chair and now it's broken to pieces," said Baby Bear. Oh, I bet he cried a little bit too. Well, they decided to go upstairs and see what was happening. The 3 bears went upstairs. "Someone's been lying in my bed," said Papa Bear. "And someone's been lying in my bed," said Mama Bear. "And someone's been lying in my bed," said Baby Bear. "Look, there she is." Uh-oh. You know what she did? When Goldilocks woke up and saw the three bears, she jumped out of bed and leaped out of the window and ran away from the cottage. The three bears never saw her again. And that's the end of the story of Goldilocks and the three bears. So there are many different versions of that story about Goldilocks and the three bears, so I thought I would bring another one to share with you today. And it's the same basic story, but some things are a little bit different. So this one is the story of Abuelo and the three bears. Abuelo is Spanish for grandfather. So Abuelo and the three bears. And this one's written by Jerry Fellow. And you know what? A fun thing about this book, I'm going to read it to you in English, but if you flip it over this way, it's Abuelo y los tres osos. And you can read it in Spanish. So you can read it in English or Spanish. I'm going to read it in English today. It was a quiet Sunday. Emilio and his grandfather sat on the front porch. Abuelo, said Emilio, do we have to wait much longer? When will everybody get here? Your cousins will arrive soon, Abuelo answered, and we'll have a fine dinner. I'll tell you a story to help pass the time. Here's his story. Once there were three bears who lived in the woods. Papa bear, Mama bear, and their little osito. One Sunday morning, Papa bear woke up as grumpy as ever. Then he smelled something good. Frijoles, he said. Abuelo, you're joking, laughed Emilio. Bears don't like beans. Well, all the bears I know like frijoles, said Abuelo. Papa bear got up and rushed down to the kitchen. Buenos dias, said Papa bear to Mama bear and Osito. Papa bear sat down at the table and tucked a napkin under his chin. How are the frijoles? Are they ready yet? He asked. Yes, answered Mama bear, but they're still too hot to eat. I can't wait, said Papa bear. I'm so hungry I could eat an elephant. Abuelo, said Emilio, bears don't eat elephants. Emilio, answered Abuelo, you must never argue with a hungry bear. Stubborn Papa bear didn't listen to Mama bear's warning. Aye, he growled, jumping out of his chair. These beans are too hot. I told you so, said Mama bear. Why don't we take a walk into town while they cool? All right, grumbled Papa bear, whose mouth was still burning. So the bears left their breakfast to cool and went out. Just then, in another part of the woods, a girl named Trencitas set out from her house to visit her friend Osito. She was called Trencitas because she had long black braids. Abuelo, Emilio called out, the girl in the story is called Goldilocks, and she has blonde hair. Goldilocks? Abuelo shrugged. In my story, it was Trencitas with her long black braids who came to visit, and she was hungry, too. When Trencitas arrived at Osito's house, she noticed that the door was open. So she stepped inside and followed her nose until she came to the 3 bowls of beans. First, Trencitas tasted some beans from the great big bowl, but they were too hot. Then she tasted some from the medium-sized bowl, but they were too cold. Finally, she tasted some from the little bowl, and they were just right. So she finished them all up. Now Trencitas decided to sit in the living room and wait for the bears to return. She sat in the great big chair, but it was too hard. She sat in the medium-sized chair, but it was too soft. Then she sat in the little chair, and it was just right until... crash! Oh no, it broke. Abuelo, what's Trencitas going to do? Asked Emilio. She broke her friend's chair. Don't worry, Abuelo said. She'll come back later with glue and leave it like new. Trencitas was feeling very sleepy. She went upstairs to take a rest. First she tried the great big bed, but the blanket was too scratchy. Then she tried the medium-sized bed, but it was too lumpy. Finally, she tried the little bed. It was too small, but it was so cozy and soft that Trencitas soon fell asleep. When the 3 bears came home, Papa bear headed straight to the kitchen to eat his frijoles. Aye, he growled when he saw his bowl, somebody's been eating my beans. And somebody's been eating my beans, said Mama bear. "And there's only one bean left in my bowl," said Osito. Then the three bears went into the living room. "Aye," said Papa Bear when he saw that his chair had been moved. "Somebody's been sitting in my chair." "And somebody's been sitting in my chair," said Mama Bear. "And my chair is all over the place," said Osito. The three bears climbed the stairs to check out the bedrooms. Papa Bear went first. Mama Bear and Osito followed behind him. "Aye," said Papa Bear when he looked in the bedroom. "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed." "And somebody's been sleeping in my bed," said Mama Bear. "Look who's sleeping in my bed," said Osito. He ran over to Trencitas and woke her up. Then they all had a good laugh. By now it was getting late. Mama Bear said they'd walk Trencitas home to make sure she got there safely. Papa Bear did not like this idea. "Another walk," he growled. "What about my frijoles?" "There'll be beans at my house," offered Trencitas. "I'll bet that made Papa Bear happy," said Emilio. "You're right," said Abuelo. Here's what happened next. When they all arrived at Trencita's house, they sat down at a long table with Trencita's parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and lots of cousins. They ate pork and fish and chicken and tortillas and beans and salsa so hot it brought tears to their eyes, and they laughed and shared stories. "So you see, Emilio," said Abuelo, "Papa Bear had to wait a long time to eat his frijoles, but in the end he had a wonderful meal and lots of fun, just as you will when your cousins arrive." "Is that the end of the story?" Emilio asked. "Yes," answered Abuelo, "and it's the end of your waiting, too. Because look at that. Everybody's there, ready to eat." And that's the end. And if you want to get this book at the library and read it in either English or in Spanish, you can come find it here. Thanks for listening. See you next time.